History remembers Arjuna as the unrivaled archer of the Mahabharata. Yet somewhere on the eastern frontier of ancient Bharat, in the lush valleys of Manipura, corresponding broadly to present-day Manipur in northeast India, lived a queen who quietly refused to let her destiny revolve around him. Her name was Chitrangada. She married Arjuna, she bore his son, then she watched both husband and history walk away. But instead of following the greatest warrior of her age, she chose something far heavier. She remained behind to defend her father's kingdom, to govern her people, and to raise their son Babruvahana without the shadow of the Pandavas defining his identity. Years later, that very son would unknowingly confront his own father, changing the destiny of the Mahabharata forever. Perhaps Chitrangada was never forgotten because she lacked greatness. Perhaps she was forgotten because true duty rarely seeks applause. Manipura stood far from the political heartland of Hastinapura. Nestled among the forested hills and river valleys of India's northeastern frontier, it developed its own martial traditions and royal customs. His ruler, King Chitravahana, had no son. His only heir was his daughter Chitrangada. She was not raised merely as a princess awaiting marriage. She was educated as the future sovereign of the kingdom. The responsibility of succession rested entirely upon her shoulders. During Arjuna's exile, his wanderings eventually brought him to Manipura. There he encountered the princess whose courage equaled her grace. Arjuna sought her hand in marriage. The king accepted, but on one unwavering condition. The child born of this union would remain in Manipura as the kingdom's future ruler. Arjuna agreed. For him, it was one chapter in a life filled with vows, pilgrimages, and distant kingdoms. For Chitrangada, it was the beginning of a lifetime of responsibility. Their son, Babruvahana, was born into royal privilege, but without his father beside him. Soon afterward, Arjuna resumed his larger destiny with the Pandavas. He departed, leaving behind neither hostility nor betrayal, but absence. From that day onward, Chitrangada carried two burdens simultaneously. She ruled a frontier kingdom that demanded constant vigilance, and she raised the young prince who would inherit it. No epic describes her lamenting her solitude. No celebrated dialogue records her complaints. Her greatness was quieter than that. She transformed personal separation into public duty. She ensured that Babruvahana learned justice before ambition, restraint before pride, and responsibility before glory. Unlike the princes of Hastinapura, his childhood unfolded far from dynastic rivalries, palace intrigues, and countless contests for power. He grew instead under the steady guidance of a mother who understood that kingdoms are preserved not merely by warriors but by rulers of character. Perhaps Chitrangada understood something many conquerors never do. Winning battles may shape history, but raising a righteous successor shapes the future. Many years after Kurukshetra, King Yudhishthira performed the Ashwamedh sacrifice. The ceremonial horse wandered across the kingdoms of Bharat, accompanied by Arjuna, inviting every ruler either to submit peacefully or defend their sovereignty. Eventually, the horse entered Manipura. Babruvahana, now king, stood before a stranger who was also his father. Bound by royal duty, he could not simply surrender his kingdom. Bound by filial reverence, he wished to avoid conflict. It was one of the epic's deepest moral dilemmas. The encounter eventually fulfilled a destiny that neither father nor son had foreseen. While Chitrangada watched two generations she loved stand upon opposite sides of obligation, in that single moment, decades of sacrifice returned to confront her. She had spent her life protecting her kingdom without resentment, raising her son without bitterness, and preserving dignity without demanding recognition. When the great heroes of the Mahabharata are remembered, Chitrangada often receives only a passing mention. Yet, without her steadfastness, there would have been no Babruvahana, no sovereign Manipura, and no profound lesson that duty to one's homeland may sometimes require even love itself to step aside. History celebrates those who marched beside famous heroes, but Chitrangada reminds us that some of the greatest souls remained exactly where destiny asked them to stand, not forgotten by Dharma, only forgotten by us.